Welcome to Missed Opportunities for Good, the podcast where we open up the space to have conversations about trends, campaigns, and cultural moments at the intersection of marketing, advertising, and impact.
Hi, I'm Alana Ficalora.
Hey, I'm Steph Belsky.
We're social impact strategists, colleagues, and friends who are on a mission to revolutionize the industry we love.
Today, there's a lot of virtue signaling, greenwashing, cause washing, or companies saying nothing out of fear of getting it wrong.
Whether it's a moment or a movement, it still has to be real. It has to be authentic and aligned with the brand, not just performative. It's about the action being taken that goes along with the messaging.
So we're here to highlight who's doing it well, what could be better, and how companies can stop leaving money and the potential for real social change on the table.
We're coming into the holiday season fast. Before we get into some of those hits and misses we're seeing as 2025 is wrapping up, we'd like to highlight some quick examples from brands we've talked about before who continue to show up and stand by their values year over year, campaign after campaign.
I'm so glad we're doing this episode, Alana, because I feel like 2025 has been
It's just been.
It just happened.
Life's been lifing.
Yeah, hard. And yeah, I miss doing our roundup episodes, and I'm really excited that we're doing this. So, Alana, why don't you kick us off?
Awesome. Well, first, let's start with Bobbie, 100% my current brand crush.
Yes.
Become a big fan despite never having used their product. I just love everything about them. I love their ethos. I love every campaign they bring out.
I will say, Leo was a Bobbie baby, and I am very proud of being a consumer of this brand.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is a brand that you can feel good about buying, right?
Absolutely.
Even if you ended up having to buy it at Target, because I believe they're in Target now, whatever, like with all the other controversies in the world, you know what you're getting and the values that you're standing for by being a part of that community, because it is a community, it seems, right? I just feel like, I know we talk a lot about Dove. I think Bobbie is a true, quote, independent, example of a company who is built with purpose from the start and continue to wear their values on their sleeve in everything they do. And if somehow you're not familiar with Bobbie and missed us talking about the Bobbie Molly Baz partnership on season 1, episode 26, we'll link it in the show notes. Bobbie is the only mom-founded and women-led infant formula company in the U.S. They believe parents and caregivers deserve social, economic, and healthcare resources to sustain their own well-being.
Yes.
And you can see this clearly in the work that comes out of the company. There's an amazing quote from Laura Motti, hopefully I'm saying that right, the co-founder and CEO of Bobbie, where she said, "We launched Bobbie not only to bring more formula options to market, but to start a movement for all parents." And I think they truly are starting that movement and carrying it forward. Taking care of their community has been at the core of the brand from the origin. Their social impact and policy arm, Bobbie for Change, is actively changing the way society thinks about, talks about, and actually nourishes babies with a mission to evolve society for modern parenthood. They're trying to create generational impact through policy, legislation, activism, and giving. Quick summary of some key findings we found of the impact they've had so far before we roll out their latest 2 campaigns. 51,000 can donations, $520,000 in cash donations. 314 families have received a 1-year supply. That's a lot of money savings there. They've supported 7 grassroots, founder-led nonprofit partner organizations. And you can't forget about the breasties. This is a really cool initiative that they started in 2020, and they have provided a year's worth of formula to over 450 parents impacted by breast and gynecological cancer. So truly finding a group that they don't just give them formula. There's a literal community that they have built online and bring these women together in a support space, which is very cool. Okay.
Alana, in your research, did you see anything about what they're doing for SNAP or any of that?
They do something for literally everything. For SNAP, they didn't even wait 24 hours to do something. They were already opening the floodgates. I mean, it started back with the formula shortage during COVID, right?
Right.
They locked the website down, made sure that all their consumers were going to get formula, and then they also made sure to try to support as many other families as possible when they couldn't get formula. When there's a natural disaster, they're the first company you see sending out formula to parents in need. When the SNAP benefits got cut, they were immediately online, not just giving away formula, but creating a space where families could gift formula forward and engaging their community to help support other
Yep.
families who were in need. And so they really seem to have a 360 approach every time they're thinking about giving, both in monetary product and then how they engage their community.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
they've engaged many celebrities and influencers over time so far, it has seemed. The latest is their chief confidence officer, Cardi B,
Yes.
which is a pretty epic campaign. It's all over their website. There were billboards, there's spots, it's literally everywhere. At least in my feed, it's everywhere. I don't know. Cardi B is using her public platform to normalize formula feeding and advocate for broader systems change. So Bobbie set up this hotline where you can call in, share your stories. These phone calls are then forwarded by Bobbie for Change to lawmakers. They did an in-person activation in New York where people could hop into an in real life phone booth. And I imagine there was a huge line from the photos and stuff I saw. And I forget the exact number, but I think they've gotten thousands of phone calls. And they also have on their website a bunch of other real Bobbie moms and I think influencer type people, like recognizable names, kind of calling in and all these sorts of things. So it's great. And because Bobbie follows through on their actions, it is not just about making these phone calls and pulling people's information and sending it off to lawmakers. They are also giving 8 callers 3 months of paid leave.
What?
Mirroring a policy proposal for the Family Act. And that's not all, friends. They are donating $75,000 to advocacy groups like Paid Leave for All, Birth Fund, and For Kira for Moms. So this is no joke. They put their money where their mouth is, literally. And the other bonus of Cardi B being involved is that she is also drawing attention to the devastating reality that Black women in the U.S. are 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. So they are not just highlighting one social issue at a time that are affecting parents and babies. They are constantly bringing up more and more and, equal opportunity in that sense. It's not just about supporting moms because they know families can look like all shapes and sizes. And so Bobbie for the win.
Holy smokes. How do you even follow up with that epic campaign? Like,
do you? I don't know.
Giving 3 months of paid family leave? Like,
it's insane.
Unheard of.
It's insane. Maybe people think it's a PR stunt, but I think they're so authentic to their cause and continually are doing the work. And you can see, I follow like everybody that works there now on LinkedIn. So I feel like that's why I say like literally.
We are going to get somebody from Bobbie on
They're going
the
to come.
podcast.
It's
we
amazing.
have to.
I'm obsessed with all of them. Bobbie, if you're listening, please call us. Then you think like, oh, that's good. They'll be done for the year. No, friends. They are not. Next, they came back to their previous campaign that they ran about the OG influencer being parents and featured 3 real consumer parents, Bobbie families, and their real everyday moments and placed it on a screen, I believe, up in Times Square, which they've used, billboards in Times Square before with the Baz campaign, etc. Surface level, this sounds very traditional UGC campaign. The lead of social posted on LinkedIn that there was no big photo shoot or creative brief, just simple ask, show us what life looks like right now. This is the fun part. Not through an iPhone lens with 10 retakes, but through a point and shoot, like how our parents captured our childhood photos. Cue the very cool partnership they did with Camp Snap Camera. And they used the CS8, by the way, I looked this all up, now I'm kind of obsessed, which definitely gives like Super 8 camcorder vibes.
Yes, it does.
Do I need this in my life? Maybe. I don't know.
Of course, we all do, because this is the movement that's happening to downgrade our tech, which I love.
About that. Yes.
Tin can phones for the win.
Yes, like my brother and I are so on this train.
Oh my God.
Everyone else might think we're crazy, but we're here for it.
No, I think it needs to happen, and I love that they used this camcorder situation.
I don't even know who like looked this camera up. They also have point and shoot old school cameras, which I then had to look up Camp Snap because why not? Yeah. I was like, what is this Camp Snap situation? And the reason why it's called Camp Snap is because this family in California hated that they would send their kids off to sleepaway camp and they would send them with the throwaway cameras and end up with a bunch of shitty pictures. So now they created this camera because they're like, there's no digital camera for kids that doesn't have a screen on it. So they wanted them to bring back that old school camp vibe. And so they created this camera. So it's literally created for the situations of camps, but what a cool idea to throw those on tables at weddings or in so many other different spaces where you can like collect. I mean, this is what I was thinking about. I was like, how do I get these like at my her events? I don't know. There's so many opportunities.
Yes.
It just seems so cool. Everybody go look that up. That's not even the point, but Bobbie, of course, found them first. So anyways, point of the camp camera is there's no playback screens. You're in the moment, which is so important for parents because so often how easy is it for us to be like, no, just pose, just do this. And you're looking at their performance through your screen or whatever and not actually watching. So very cool. And then, of course, because Bobbie can't just like, take people's videos and put them together and walk away, they actually brought those families, those real people to New York to see themselves on the big screen and relish in the joy of, the impact that has. So how cool is that? Very thoughtful, thinking of everything. This one doesn't have, some huge impact campaign and donation going along with it. But I think it just goes to show that you don't always need to have celebrities. You can show real people. You can show the people who do this work every day, these real users, and the warm and fuzzy feelings that can bring to everybody and the importance of that and how much they value their community. So big takeaway, live in the moment, cherish the moment, community.
Yes.
Let's take action.
All of this. Snaps. Yes. No, Alana, I nailed it. No notes.
Cheers for Bobbie.
Incredible. Bobbie, we will see you in 2026. I mean, look, not to be outdone because I don't think we can outdo Bobbie, but another company that we've been following closely has been e.l.f. Eyes, lips, and face for everyone. And you may recall, Alana, how in season 1, episode 21, we showcased e.l.f.'s So Many Dicks, Changing the Board Game, Billie Jean King Serving Facts, the Not So White Paper, and a partnership with NACD, the National Association of Corporate Directors, for a board preparedness accelerator in order to sponsor 40 diverse candidates to physically get more women and people of color to be invited into more boardrooms. Great. Happy to report that since then, over 140 business leaders, nonprofits, and peer companies have joined their Change the Board Game coalition that's dedicated to more accessible and diverse boardrooms. Yay. And
yay.
That's not it. In an effort to maximize affordability and accessibility, 75% of all e.l.f. cosmetics products are $10 and under, which is very helpful in this very uncertain economy and for holiday gifting this time of year.
That's been part of their ethos, I think, since the beginning as well, right?
Yes.
I feel like they've always been. Yeah. And it also shows that you can be an accessible brand and still give back. What a concept.
Right? And also, I think that there's something to be said about how quickly they turn around the products and how a lot of it is based on trends. And, they'll do things like really listening to their community and asking for what they want. And on one TikTok live, they like turned a product around in 6 weeks or something ridiculous, which is, unheard of, but also kind of funny to think about, like, production based on social media. I don't know.
Well, isn't that like kind of the okay, now we're going to digress, but isn't that also kind of the model that Shein claims, and that's why they're not fast fashion, except that literally is
accepted as fast fashion. Yes, correct.
And there's still tons of waste, but anyhow, we digress.
Yeah, but we will get
e.l.f.
into
for the win. Tell us about it.
We will get into some of their sustainability initiatives. So let's get into some of them now. e.l.f.'s beauty brand's products are made in fair trade certified facilities, and 100% of their cosmetic brushes, this was very cool, the wood handles now use Forest Stewardship Council certified wood. And e.l.f. has also achieved a 33% reduction in packaging intensity in its fiscal year 2025 versus a 2019 baseline, which exceeds their goal of a 20% reduction by 2030.
So someone's sticking to their sustainability goals. That's a win.
Exactly, right? It feels so, even though, yes, fast fashion and lots of waste happening, and also
Doing what they
trying to
can.
figure out what they can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it definitely seems like their lane is social impact initiatives as opposed to sustainability, which is great. You know, they've called it out. They get it. So this year, they released their fourth annual impact report. And of course, in order to sell, like, whatever, sure, they're celebrating their impact, but they deserve to celebrate their impact. Why? Because some of their achievements from this past year include the donation of over $2.5 million, which was at least 2% of the prior year's profits, which they have dedicated themselves to doing for the past 21 years, to causes that align with the company's values, which obviously we talked about spans boardroom diversity, but also animal welfare, disaster relief, and so much more. And this year, they actually had the community and customers choose which charities to donate to in 2026 in exchange for free e.l.f. products. They had a live kiosk activation in New York City, appropriately called Don't Give a Fuck, Give an e.l.f. I mean, look, anytime you can have an e.l.f. pun, I'm here for it. But they also promoted this through their social channels and on digital billboards in New York's Penn Station. They've also, in terms of their digital activations and social media, they've continued the Show Your e.l.f. series, featuring legendary women and non-binary folks who are pushing the boundaries. And sure, let's be honest, also pushing e.l.f. products, but it feels like in a very authentic way, right? Because there's an Amanda Wynn bold red lip as she's talking about passing the sexual assault survivor Bill of Rights to the US Congress and the UN. And also, Amanda is the first South Asian woman in space. Like, mind-blowingly cool. I, of course, watched the whole freaking series because I was obsessed and I was like, oh my God, Chellaman and this person and that person. And just
how will
very,
I pick
very
who to
cool.
talk about? Because there are so many cool, diverse candidates here.
I
Let's
know.
talk about them all.
It was amazing. But I was also very happy to hear. I mean, you know, I love a good influencer activation.
Yep.
And e.l.f., Be Still My Beating Heart, they make a donation to causes and organizations that each of their featured talent and ambassadors support. So, Chellaman wanted LA LGBTQ plus Center, Amanda for Rise, the Amputee Coalition, the Hidden Opponent for Billie Jean King. Like, so many cool alignment there. I love it. And not to be outdone, but years ago, e.l.f. actually started sponsoring race car driver Catherine Legg, and that partnership has only gotten stronger. Very smart for their bottom line, but also very smart for not missing an opportunity. I was really kind of blown away by some of the stuff that they've been doing. And something that we always talk about, Alana, is employee engagement. And I was thrilled to see that one of their most awesome things that e.l.f. does is their triple employee match program. And as someone who has utilized employee match programs in the past in order to double the donation being made for, I don't know, Leukemia Lymphoma Society for our Visionary of the Year campaign. And yes, we won. But it was like, we had to find employee match programs that would actually make an impact. And every charitable donation made by an e.l.f. employee can be tripled. The not so awesome part is that it's a cap of $500. So, like,
maybe they don't pay their employees enough to donate more than $500.
Right. Or, yes, this is where, but also appreciate the transparency that they're letting you know that it's only a cap of 500.
A match is a match, and tripling, it's awesome.
Yes, exactly. So when employee makes a donation, it's matched once by the company, sure, and then a third time by the CEO, Tarang Amin, and his wife, Hirni. And so, yeah. And then speaking of their CEO.
Especially these days when people aren't so fond of CEOs of many companies.
Exactly. yesterday I saw a LinkedIn post by Tarang Amin, who shared on LinkedIn the power of authentic audience connection and how he reads the comment section on YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And I felt so seen because I read the comment section for everybody else, for all the other brands for that exact reason. Corey Marchisota, or sorry, I'm definitely butchering this name. Corey Marchisotto, who is their chief marketing officer of e.l.f. Beauty, actually pulled the CEO into e.l.f.'s live TikTok chat in order to connect with audience and share what e.l.f. product bags are in his own makeup bag.
Cute.
So yeah, it's very cute. And he was like, yeah, anytime I'm doing a media interview, like I put on my primer first and then I put in like on my T-zone, I put in like these other products and
Cute.
just like really authentically showed how he's using his own product, which is always
Yeah.
really nice to see. So yeah, everything that e.l.f. does really feels in alignment with their mission of disrupting norms, shaping culture, and connecting communities through positivity, inclusivity, and accessibility. Big, big fan.
That's awesome. And
Keep
to
it up.
your point with the CEO pulling out his own makeup bag also feeds into this inclusive conversation of makeup not being
Yes.
just for
Yes.
one gender or one type of person. So it like reinforce and community again. The magic. I love it.
Yeah. Good stuff.
e.l.f., keep it up.
Yay.
Next, we have a quick little shout out because there's another brand that we've spoken about, L'Oreal, season 1, episode 21, same episode when we talked about brands focused on women and what they were doing.
It was a two-parter, actually.
It was a two-parter. We did moms and women. Good stuff. Because as we've talked about many times, we find that many of these brands that are focused primarily on women are the ones that are more likely to give
moving
that.
the needle.
Yes, doing the action behind the messaging. But yeah, so L'Oreal had their Worth It resume, and last time we discussed it, we weren't so sure that campaign was worth it.
Ha.
It was questionable,
It was.
but we're happy to see that L'Oreal recently celebrated their 20th anniversary of the Women of Worth campaign, honoring 10 change makers for their most recent 2025 program. We wanted to give a special shout out to Keely Cat-Wells, founder and CEO of Making Space. Making Space is a talent and learning platform that equips disabled professionals with resources and opportunities to build meaningful careers. They're awesome. Keely's awesome. I've seen her speak. Fantastic to see that she's getting this recognition. And bonus, again, not just, oh, here we go. You are a woman of worth. Congratulations. We're going to use your face on a billboard. But each honoree gets $25,000 and mentorship and national visibility with L'Oreal's platforms. And since its inception in 2005, Women of Worth has evolved into a nationwide movement. They've recognized 200 women, and their efforts have spanned causes from health, education, environmental justice, mental wellness, and so much more. The program has also awarded millions of dollars in grants. They offer the mentorship and educational programming, and they've provided national visibility, as we mentioned, to help these nonprofit leaders scale their impact. So it's great to see that they are elevating these female leaders and specifically focused on these women who have these incredible nonprofits and organizations that are moving the needle, and these change makers who are creating a better society for everyone. So It's nice to see that this is a much more effective implementation than the Worth It resume.
I mean, look, you had me at $25,000. That is going to go a long way for any of these women, and it's fantastic. And yeah, it's really cool to see the actions that are behind the campaigns. So
absolutely,
good job, L'Oreal.
Yes.
Well, so yeah, okay, fine. Yet again, those campaigns are primarily focused on women because we are women and we are moms and we are proud of that. And it's getting the job done, as you rightfully said, Alana. But let's switch gears for a minute and talk holidays, because we know that there's going to be a crap ton of holiday campaigns, and most of them are not going to give a damn about anything except for selling product.
As you
But
do.
we did find some
A
that
couple that are trying to do some things.
yeah.
I wish I
Yeah.
had little holiday bells to jingle right now. It really feels like that would be appropriate, but I'm looking around and there's none next to me. So before we get into these holiday campaigns, let's give a quick review of our criteria.
All right. The first thing we always look at is alignment.
Next is partnerships,
Call to action and transparency.
engagement,
And lastly, optimization and amplification.
and full transparency. We might not get into depth on all of them today because we
No.
wanted to cover so many different conversations, but we will cover a lot. So first, we will start with the holiday ad of all holiday ads. Consistently year over year, John Lewis is known for their holiday ads. Turns out the company's been around for 100 years. I didn't know that until I was researching this, but glad to find that out. Good to know because I live in Los Angeles and this is a UK brand. So there you go.
Wait, about quick Alana, how did you find this John Lewis ad?
I
'Cause I
mean,
think
it was
that's the
written
most
in every
interesting part.
trade, but I don't pay
Sure.
attention sometimes when it's there. But the first time I actually bothered to click through and watch it was on LinkedIn. And we will get into why that's important momentarily. But if for some reason you haven't seen this ad yet, I will give you a quick summary. And the interesting thing about finding it on LinkedIn, to your point, is that I don't know that I am the audience for this ad necessarily. I mean, it's a sweet ad, but the depth of which this story has impact is because of the of what it is showing, which is why I saw it on LinkedIn, and how it shows the importance of the stories we tell and how we represent all people and how we represent, in this case, men, and showing the softer side of men and relationships and emotion and all of that, and showing a more rounded version of a man is so
Yeah.
important.
And shout
So
out to the Marketing to Men Summit, which we attended. And
check out
I
our Substack on that if you have not already. We will link that too.
please. But yeah, seeing this after attending the summit and really appreciating the complexity of a man showing emotions in a campaign is really, really something we need to see more of. So, yeah,
100%. So
please
with
set us
that,
up.
Where Love Lives is a emotional story about the distance that can grow between a parent and a child, specifically a teenager, and the small
Specifically a teenage
moments.
boy.
Teenage boy. So it is focused on a dad and his son, and these important, thoughtful moments that close that gap. So if you're watching the spot and you're not looking at this, you might not have caught that, but this is why it's so important. So the film begins on Christmas morning. The father's cleaning up the wrapping paper from opening gifts and finds an additional gift underneath that has a little post-it that says dad on it. And the dad, you kind of see the son with his headphones on. Great. And the dad ends up opening the wrapping paper and discovering this last gift, which was a vinyl record of the 1990s club anthem Where Love Lives by Alison Limerick. He places it on a turntable. And so you see him have this moment where it takes him back to the 90s when he was in the club and there's lights and motion and he's having all these flashbacks to his youth. But then he sees his son as a teenager. And then it kind of like flashbacks to the most special moments in his son's life. The toddler taking the first steps as a newborn, all these very emotional, sweet moments. And this becomes this bridge for him. And then when he opens his eyes back up after having this almost like dream state moment from listening to the music, his son is there and he pulls him in for a hug. And it just gives you all the warm and fuzzies. And the boy exhales relief because he's so happy that his father was excited about the gift and enjoyed it. And then the CTA is, if you can't find the words, find the gift. So on the surface level, this could feel like they are just trying to use emotion to tell you something. But again, the same time, this LinkedIn post by Elliot Ray, who's the founder of Parenting Out Loud, is truly what made me realize the importance of this spot beyond the traditional criteria that we look in. And then even through looking at the comments on YouTube, finding multiple other dads commenting similar sentiment. And because this is so beautiful, we can read this real quick.
Sure.
Do you think we have time? Sure.
So,
Yes. No.
yeah. Well, first, let's talk about what parenting out loud does, because I think that's also super important. So, Parenting Out Loud is a primarily UK based nonprofit that is all about making employee engagement stronger and better for working dads. And they've worked with a bunch of different brands and different companies, making it a positive workspace for dads. But they also have resources and all sorts of things for how to, be better dads in general as well. And so this LinkedIn post from Elliot Ray was really lovely. He said, "He's still my baby boy. He used to run to me for hugs and kisses, small intimate moments that make us flash our whole lives before us. We've drifted apart. I don't know how to tell him I love him. You've thought about me and I appreciate it so much." And it just goes on and on and on. And then finally around to the let's rebuild. Let's create, let's end this cycle of me not being able to express myself.
And I think the deepest part of that whole thing, right, is the cycle that he's referring to is the struggle to find the words. So my son struggles to find the words. And that's the cycle that they're trying to break. And so the importance of having that connection and having that emotional intelligence and being able to have these conversations. And so that's, yes, it's so important to be highlighting this story. Beautiful for John Lewis to have seen that and understood the importance of it. Similarly, on YouTube, there were comments of, to see a man exemplified for change and celebrating masculinity and fatherhood and how delicate men are too. I'm sure you realize just how important the advertisement is for men right now. Respect and love to all the dads and their sons. It's about time an advert didn't make ads look like complete tools with no genuine emotion. And these comments aren't written by women. These are all comments written by men. So refreshing to see an ad that doesn't put men down. Dads shown in a positive light rather than being made fun of. There are videos of this ad making people cry. Gen X father with teenage son. This resonates on so many levels and does so sharply, personally, and painfully. I was in tears. This feels so close to home, so emotionally real, and says so many things about being a dad and bringing up a son in this world. It made me realize the universal truth: us men don't open up enough. I mean, the comments alone make you want to cry because you realize how important it is for these men to feel seen and feel like it is okay to have that space to express their emotions and see that reflection of themselves on screen in their relationships, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that was such a beautiful thing. And then on our criteria note, because they actually do hit so many of our criteria in so many ways. And in terms of alignment, like I said, John Lewis has been around for 100 years. And not only that, they've had this partnership. It's called the John Lewis Partnership that has been part of the company from the beginning. And it's set out to be a force for good, our favorite thing. And it says directly on their website that while this principle is alive and well, I have to read this because I just thought that it was written so well. So apologies, but full transparency, it's on their website. While that principle is alive and well within our business today, if we're going to help address some of the biggest challenges of our time, we need to be even bolder. Many businesses talk about purpose, but we walk with it, aiming to make sufficient profit to create a partnership that is fair and more sustainable for all partners, customers, suppliers, and communities we serve. Our purpose promise, working in partnership for a happier world, is not just a slogan. It's deeply rooted in an unshakable commitment that acts as our guide, inspires our principles, and influences every decision we make. Through it, we not only do things differently, but better, always striving to make the world a better and happier place for everyone and everything our business touches.
Very nice.
I mean, where's John Lewis here? I will go shop there because that sounds so much more meaningful than literally any department store in the US. So that is amazing in and of itself. It clearly is their ethos, and it does seem like they do stand by it when you look on the back end of what Building Happier Future Fund is and the partnership and the work that they've done.
Amazing. Talk to me about the vinyl itself. This Where Love Lives.
They're back vinyls.
Yeah.
Bringing back nostalgia yet again. Nostalgia's making a comeback across the board.
I don't think vinyls have gone away, but
no, but people aren't making it's
the 90s dance anthem.
But it's also like, yes, you go to a record store and get an old vinyl, but there's not people making new vinyl so often anymore, right? In the age of digital music. I think Taylor Swift maybe did the special edition or something.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, it's not as common. So it's a little, it's unique, I guess, in that sense. But they specifically made a specialty vinyl only sold at John Lewis with Allison's 90 Dance Anthem, Where Love Lives. And it also has special club-inspired artwork. So there's Allison's version on one side, and then side B presents the globally acclaimed UK artist and producer Labyrinth's reimagination of Where Love Lives, which is a genuinely unguarded take on the iconic hit, which is also in the ad. And then the more important part, the profits from the record sold are donated to Building Happier Futures Fund, which is John Lewis's part of John Lewis's foundation. And they say that this money will contribute to building supportive communities for care experienced people. I wasn't totally sure what that meant at first. I think that means foster care, and help families and carers create happy and secure homes. The John Lewis Partnership Foundation has committed to using 65% of total donations for the continuing support of their work with, and these are the nonprofits, Action for Children, Home Start UK, and Who Cares Scotland.
Great.
So it's, yes, they're selling a record, but at least the purpose of the record really is to, highlight this connection point, and then also to feed money back to these nonprofits.
Now, I only wish that...
Of course. Give it to us. Give it to me, Steph.
Okay. My only thing is that, is it just this record that is making the donation, or is it like a percentage of all profits from holiday sales or something like that?
No. Just this record.
Just this record.
Just this record, which is a minor piece. And how many are they truly selling? La 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 la.
La 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 la. Fa la la la.
My other question in that too, in the transparency point, right? They say 65% of total donations go to support the work. Where do the other 35% of funds go? I do math.
Brr.
Is that operating costs? Is that somewhere else? Like, where's that money going? Because you felt the need to call it out, which I appreciate.
Yeah, transparency.
But what happened to everything else?
Mm-hmm.
No. To your point, is there a way to incorporate this beyond that? Could you have an activation in stores that's like, instead of it's, can't find the words, give the perfect gift. What are the words you would like to tell someone? Mail them a letter here.
That's good. That's good.
And you could have a whole display next to the records. And then you're actually bringing attention to the meaning behind the spot.
Yes.
In person. And not enough people probably shop in store anymore anyways, but that's an easy in-person activation that you could drop in, which I would give a shout out. The reason why that made me thought about that is I was at a Nona's Impact Activation event 2 weeks ago, and they had a station where in one of the rooms where you could write letters. They had a stack of cards and you could write letters. They had a scroll of different seniors, I guess you could say, elderly people who live alone and need community or some love. And it had a little bio about them. And it was like, so you could send them a card. And it was like, you just sat down, you could write them a note. You just put the card into this little mailbox they had in the corner. And then they were going to sort them out by the names of the people and, send them on their way. So there's a nonprofit they partner with to do that. But I think this is a perfect place where you could use the similar activation and they could have, stamps and cards and the whole thing and send off your letters to your loved one.
Bring in Allison Limerick, for God's sakes.
How cool would that be? So I think there's definitely opportunity, and maybe they did do more, who knows? But I think you could really push the envelope on this idea of the words that you don't have the words for.
Yeah. I love that. Love that, Alana.
So yeah, I think we've covered everything here. And I think the biggest takeaway from this one is that they're highlighting a story that's not often seen in terms of masculinity and showing the complexities, as you said, of men and the importance of that across the board. So well done.
Yay. Good job, John Lewis.
Woo woo.
Keep it up.
What else we got? Listen,
I used to run on Dunkin. As a proud East Coaster. Yeah, my family has always bought Dunkin Donuts coffee. And Dunkin has their own holiday campaign this year, unfortunately, does not involve Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, which I think is probably the smartest and dumbest thing that Dunkin' Donuts has ever done. But
everything
Dunkin's
has sides.
the
Two sides
little
to every coin.
holiday munchkin turns the center of the donut into the heart of its holiday storytelling. Oh, the campaign is built around a charming children's tale brought to life through an illustrated book and an ad that is actually narrated by Mindy Kaling. Shout out to the queen. With the proceeds from the book benefiting the Dunkin' Joy in Childhood Foundation. This effort pairs festive fun with a meaningful cause. But does it? The Munchkin story creates a warm, character-driven thread that carries through every touch point, from digital and social content to also dine-in moments. All right, let's unpack this. So what this really is, it's like a claymation, like storytelling of these little munchkin holes, and they all have little characters and they come to life. And I don't know, I always have a little bit of issue with cutesy mascots that get eaten.
That's hilarious.
I don't know. It's just, it feels a little cannibalistic when you're like,
so
okay,
funny.
here's, what was it? Like, doesn't Cheez-It do one? And, no, Pop-Tarts. Oh my God, Pop-Tarts.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. But then also Cinnamon Toast Crunch does that with their commercials. Like, it's just like, okay, great. You have this cute little character. And then luckily, I will say, because this has bothered me so much, that I did notice that the camera pans out and pans away when it comes to actually ingesting, consuming the munchkin. You had no idea how much this bothered me, Alana.
Clearly.
But it's true. It's very true. And you will not unsee this commercial now.
I know, now I have to watch it again. It's like why I can't go to Gentle Barn before Thanksgiving, but that's because there's a turkey there, not because there's little donut holes in an animated movie. Perfect. But it's okay because you could buy the book and you can relive this video over and over again. And they sell it in stores. So don't eat your munchkins while reading the story. It'll make you sad.
Or it'll be delicious and cannibalistic. Who knows? But
yeah, but that's what you're into.
Of course, if you give a character, if you give a product a backstory, it only deepens the emotional attachment that we have to that character. Munchkins are cute enough as they are. Put a face on them, yes, they become 10 times cuter. There is this charity integration, which helps to strengthen Dunkin's brand purpose, which we tend to forget about because Matt Damon and Ben Affleck do not represent the brand purpose. You look at Matt Damon and you're like, what's a charity water guy doing in a Dunkin' ad?
Wait, also fun fact, speaking of Matt Damon, the production company is actually Artist Equity, which is Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's company.
Perfect. See? The dumbest and smartest thing they've ever done.
Well, the animation is actually by Buck, which is a different studio. But anyways, the production company that's behind the campaign is actually Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. So are they invested in Dunkin' at this point? Like what's going on here?
Yes, of course they are. Yeah. Right. Some missed opportunities from Dunkin'. We noticed in all of the descriptions that nobody's pointing out Mindy Kaling is narrating, is doing the voiceover for the commercial. So like,
huge missed opportunity. Just tagging her in your Instagram, not enough.
Yeah. Come on. Just one extra sentence, Dunkin'. That's all you need. In your YouTube video, in your X post, in all of that shenanigans. And then, of course, there is zero acknowledgement of the nonprofit in the spot, in the video description, like nowhere. Tag your own goddamn foundation. It's not that hard.
Acknowledge anything for that matter in the description. Like, who forgot to upload the description?
Right. Correct. Some intern should feel really bad right now.
So you could go back and add it. There's still time. Nudge, nudge.
That's the beauty of
Nudge,
editable Instagram and YouTube descriptions.
100%.
Meanwhile, there is a crap ton of promotion around Wicked.
Well, obviously. Wicked's the hottest thing going right now.
Right. This is BarbieCon all over again. It's like, how many brand promotions can we do for Wicked? Period.
And also,
yeah,
you could pair some wicked. I mean, I feel like there's also, okay, anyways, I feel like there's so many Boston Wicked jokes you could make with all of that too.
Oh,
but
yeah, of
you
course.
could pair your Wicked with your Munchkin.
Yes.
Like, come on. And you could get your book and your Wicked mug all together. Like, hello. You could integrate these things together. They don't need to be standalone and just dump the book on the side.
You would think, Alana. However,
no, but not in theirs. Yes. This is a missed opportunity.
Wicked, of course, Wicked had their own Munchkin. You had to. But no,
not to be confused with the Munchkins in the book.
Nowhere are the holiday Munchkins and the Wicked Munchkins integrated. Which, like, what does that say? I don't know. I have thoughts.
So many thoughts. Yeah.
On top of all of this, we also noticed that there is zero promotion of the book or of Mindy Kaling or of, yes, period, on either the foundation page or on DunkinDonuts.com. And the only way that you can get these items and help these children is if you go to DunkinRunsOnMerch.com.
You got to be a big Dunkin fan to know that there's a merch website. That's got to be a very specific audience.
Very specific. To be fair, it is in their link in bio.
Oh, because that's where I'm hanging out.
Right. And it's, again, not in the description of their video. It's nowhere. It's
not on the Dunkin website to link to the merch website.
Right.
Like,
come
you
on,
could
people.
shop for coffee and that is it.
That's it.
It literally does not link anywhere.
So many missed. And, however, if you do find the book, that is $9.99, $2 from every book sold, only up to $550,000, which, God bless, if they get up to $550,000 from the book that they are not promoting anywhere.
That would be 275,000 copies for anyone who would like to know what that is.
Yay, math. How the hell they're going to sell 275,000 copies
when no one knows it's available. Yeah, I mean, I think it may be somewhere, maybe the press release about the merch, because that's the only other place we saw anything about it.
Sure.
I think maybe they're selling it in stores also.
They better.
But like,
what's the point?
Point of purchase makes sense, because who's going to pay to ship that thing? But
right.
Also, yeah, I mean, there's such an opportunity to do activations. If you're going to bother selling this in the store, is it just literally the book on a shelf? Are you sharing information about what the foundation does?
Right. I was going to say, let's also share a little bit about the work of the foundation in order to maybe incentivize people to then go and buy this book. So the Dunkin' Joy in Childhood Foundation actually partners with food banks. Very important, very aligned, very appropriate.
Hopefully not
Children's
by sending
hospitals.
them donuts. Right. Also, hopefully not just by sending them donuts. Sorry, continue.
Also to the children's hospitals, not sending them donuts. Yes. Yeah. And other nonprofit organizations.
Sorry.
And
Continue.
other nonprofit organizations to fund joyful environments, not by obesity of donuts, and experiences for kids, also not by giving them donuts, when they need it most. Since 2006, the Joy in Childhood Foundation has granted more than $65 million to hundreds of national and local charities across the country. And if you want more information on this lovely foundation, you can go to bringjoy.com. Oh,
Don't worry.
it's not even
foundation.
.org.
Foundation is not linked from Dunkin's website either. You got to know, you got to be in the know to know about the work that they're doing. So it's interesting, right, that John Lewis and Dunkin Donuts both are selling a product where a percentage, though John Lewis's does seem like a lot comparatively now, are going to their personal foundations.
Who's actually gonna buy the record though? Right.
I mean, the record, I feel like at least like people in the comments on YouTube at least seem very into that song. So that probably has more nostalgia leverage and value than this
for sure
does. And also, but so it's interesting because it's both their corporate foundations essentially, right?
Yes.
And then their money is going out from there to these different programs. So those foundations are existing. It's supposed to be being like an external nonprofit where it's just funneling directly to them. It's like coming through the middleman on its way out. Fine. But also interesting then to see what nonprofits they're partnering with, how they distribute their money, and the differences between the two on that sense too, right? In the Dunkin grant process, the lack of connection from their website to the foundation and the nonprofit and what they're doing, like all of the things. So,
well, glad we covered that. And we have to acknowledge a little bit of Wicked, all right? Because it is
before we get to Wicked, the one other thing I want to say about Dunkin that's interesting about their foundation is in looking up their grants, they do 2 different types of grants. And there are grants that you can apply to as an individual. You can nominate somebody, or you can apply directly. But then they also have community impact grants, which are invitation only grants. But the cool thing about those invitation only grants is they are truly community, in that the franchises and employees get to nominate organizations for those grants and fund projects, programs specific to their individual needs. So they at least are trying to engage the franchises and the employees in the process, which is one of the things that we always talk about, right, in terms of employee and consumer engagement. So at least they're allowing their employees to help funnel this money somewhere, which is pretty cool. And then when you download their list of organizations they've donated to in the last year, I mean, it was far larger than I expected. They're not just picking 1 or 2 or 3 charities, for better or worse. They're not just picking 1 or 2, 3 nonprofits. There's like hundreds on the page. So that's kind of cool that it's getting distributed across the country in various ways. Okay, I'm done.
I love that. Thank you, Alana.
Tell me all about Wicked.
That's really, really good to know. All right. So just real quick, because we could make an entire episode about Wicked. We are not, but Wicked is...
We thought about it, but we will not.
Part 2, Wicked. Wicked 2. Yeah. So there is some social impact components to the Wicked release, which we were happy to see. Cynthia Erivo and #GreenForGood is making real world magic to help care for nature, animals, and communities. And if you do a cleanup within your community, or even just by yourself, but you post a photo or a video and you add in the #GreenForGood.
Are hashtags still a thing?
I don't know.
Sorry, not to downfall this from the start, but are they still a thing? I don't know. I feel like I always hear controversial information on this. Okay, sorry, continue.
It's enough of a thing that if you get enough people to do it, then you can track it.
It'll matter.
And
of course.
The most important.
And maybe if most people aren't doing it and you get people to do it, then that's more beneficial because it's easier to find track.
Right. You have to use the #GreenForGood, and you also need to tag Wicked at Wicked Movie, and also at NBC Universal. And if you do all of that,
that's a lot of things,
between October 27th and January 15th, 2026, Then NBC Universal will donate the cost of planting one tree up to 2,000 trees
It's
through
not
an
that many
organization
trees.
called Rewild. No, it's really not. But like we said, it's a lot of work to get that done. What happens if you only tag Wicked the movie and forget the hashtag and don't tag NBC Universal? Are they still going to donate a tree? Probably not.
And only 2,000 people's count.
Right. Right.
Which is not very many.
And also, of course, this can be used as marketing material for NBC Universal and Rewild and all of the fine print that people don't usually look at. And, it's not a
We just
sweepstakes
sell
or a
information
giveaway.
anyways, that's fine. But still, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, are they doing something? Yes. Could they be doing something more? Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
And
yeah.
yeah.
On the positive side, I would say Rewild, which is the nonprofit associated, has put together a great web page within their brand partner page that showcases the different things that you can do to green for good, right? So planting a pollinator garden, greening your school campus, greenifying your meals, eating more plant-based. And every time you click on one of these, it links you to one of Rewild's action items and shows you information on how you can actually take action in those spaces. It highlights the importance of animals in the ecosystem and gives you clear click through again on Rewild actions. It's like a Wicked specific page, but then you go to the general Rewild action for supporting amphibians, for being their voice, for lost species, for the wildlife corridor, for all these different areas. And then all the way at the bottom, it gets into this challenge of uploading, which, by the way, you can only do those tags between October 27th and January 15th.
Right.
So yes, they're trying to engage people. They're trying to build community around this. Rewild seems awesome. It just feels like it could have been pushed so much further.
Right. And
so, yeah.
To be fair to the NBC Universal team, Rewild is a really very much aligned nonprofit for Wicked too. And so kudos to the team for even building this activation, because they could have just done nothing and only done the brand promos out the wazoo. Would it be nice to see some of those brand promos also incorporate Rewild? 1,000%. So
yeah, and also at least for the sake of Rewild, on their homepage, the Wicked challenge is there as well.
Good.
And hopefully I will be seeing Wicked this weekend and I can report back after that if they did show this Green for Good trailer in advance of the movie to get people when they're watching the film, because that would be clever. But
yeah,
who knows?
Wouldn't that be a novel concept? Report back, Alana.
Yes. Okay, back to telling us about some shady dealings.
Yeah. I don't know, Alana. You take this one.
So LinkedIn has become the place that I find out about things these days, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. And that is where I saw this interesting post. Thank you, Jonathan Jacobs, former guest. Always has something important to say. You are the best. Yes. So apparently, Movember has a UK campaign, because everything seems to happen in the UK these days. And they did a campaign with Google Gemini. And you are asked to upload a photo to Gemini, get an AI mustache, Movember. So you don't need to grow a real one. You can get an AI one. Cool. And then you post it, and Google donates £11 to Movember. Sounds great on the surface. Cool. This
good cause,
genius,
good company,
Emma Bracegirdle, called out for the rest of us that no one's telling us what happens to your photo in this AI world where everyone's going rogue and nobody knows what happens to things when they end up on the interwebs or in AI. And the Google privacy policy for the Gemini app shares that uploaded photos are stored for 3 years, potentially reviewed by human reviewers, and used to train AI models. Interesting. Movember chose not to comment on this and not to tell anybody what happens to their photos after they get uploaded. And maybe it's just an oversight and they didn't think about it. Surely somebody at Google Gemini should be thinking about this and calling it out. But also, we've got to be transparent about what's happening with data these days. To your point about what happens when you tag something and sign up for a cause, and like we talk about sweepstakes and like how people are just using that data. What is happening here with this data?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean,
just let us
at the end of the day, this is a data grab by Google, as Jonathan pointed out. And yeah, saying that we're doing it for a good cause is great. And totally like Grinches the whole Movember situation, because of course you want to support this amazing organization that supports men's health. And like under to what degree?
Yeah. What are you willing to sacrifice of your personal data in that journey? Maybe your face just growing the mustache is enough to sacrifice and do it in real life. I don't know. That being said, Movember is a very cool organization, and I've been blown away. I thought it was truly just about the mustache situation, and recently had gone into the deep depths of the website and all the different activations that they do. And they are covering so many men's health areas. It is not just one thing. And I think that's a very cool organization, and it's cool to see them grow and take up space in the man space in this way. Just be transparent and don't steal people's data. Thank you. Yeah. Happy holidays to all.
Oh my God. I know. What a grinchy note to end on. As we always point out, any company that is doing good needs to be celebrated in any context. And everybody can always do a little bit more. So maybe in 2026, we will see fewer missed opportunities because of the work that everybody is doing to push themselves a little bit further. That is my Hanukkah wish.
I love that. And since we are recording this the week of Thanksgiving, we will also say that we are just grateful for all of the companies who are continuing to show up. The Bobbies, the e.l.f.s, the Doves, the Patagonias, the Ben & Jerry's, all these companies that are truly making that impact day over day, year over year. We see you. Thank you for being the shining lights that lead the way. The John Lewis's, there's so many levels of which companies can show up. It doesn't have to be a blatant impact campaign. While John Lewis had both sides of it, it also shows us that even the importance of telling these stories that are the undersung stories and untold, not as commonly told stories is just as important. So we are grateful for those who are pushing this work forward. If you would like to be a part of this community because you are pushing this work forward and want us to share your work, please let us know. We'd love to have you on and talk about it.
Yes. And while we are extending gratitude, I also want to extend gratitude to all of our creative conversations guests that we've had in 2025 and that we will have in 2026. And also extend gratitude to my wonderful co-host and our fabulous producer, Alana Ficalora, because you are amazing. And I'm so glad I get to do this with you. It's so much fun.
Right back at you, Steph Belsky. I can't wait till we get to meet in real life this winter. It's going to be joyous.
It's happening. It's happening.
It's joyous. The holiday joy is coming our way. Not at a Dunkin'. Sorry. With that, we will wrap up. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much to our listeners and supporters and Substack readers for helping us shine a light and learning from those who are doing it well and reducing the missed opportunities for good.
We want to hear from you. Please let us know, what campaigns are you seeing that are doing it well? Who would you like to see us interview? And what campaign would you like us to audit?
Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us on our mission to revolutionize the industry that we love.
Missed Opportunities for Good is powered by Love of Good and Aligned for Impact. To learn more, visit the links in our show notes. We will have so many links in these show notes, so check them out.
So many.
Happy holidays.
Yay! Happy New Year.